public with the old stuff. The words echoed across the internet like a digital explosion. The old stuff? What did that mean? Was there more than the child? More than the strip club rumors? Was Jasmine holding something even darker over Kirk's head, and had he manipulated Rashida's healing journey just to do damage control? Fans went into a frenzy. Instagram lives, YouTube breakdowns, Twitter threads. Everyone had a theory, and none of them were pretty. But it wasn't the fans who were most devastated. Was Rashida. Just one day after trying to mend fences with Yanti, just hours after letting her guard down on camera and embracing vulnerability for the first time in weeks, her entire world was yanked from under her again. Producers tried to reach her. Her phone went straight to voicemail. At her boutique, employees were instructed to reschedule appointments. The usually composed, brand-polished Rasheeda Frost had disappeared. Word on the street was, she was holed up at her mama's house, not taking calls from anyone, not even Kirk. Meanwhile, Jasmine wasn't staying silent. She posted a 12-minute video to her YouTube channel, titled The Truth About Me and Kirk. What you didn't see. Dressed in all black, tearfully composed, she spilled everything. I stayed silent for years, she began. But when a man uses you, erases you, then tries to villainize you on national television, nah, that ends today. She claimed Kirk had promised her a future even after his son was born. She alleged he'd continued to visit her privately, off camera, even after reconciling with Rashida. And worst of all, she dropped a bomb, that Kirk pressured her to stay quiet about certain business dealings he didn't want the world to know about. I recorded that conversation because I was scared, Jasmine admitted, voice shaking. Scared he'd spin it all again. Scared I'd be painted like the side chick forever. But I was young. I believed him. And now, I just want peace. The comments were divided. Some fans praised her for finally speaking out. Others accused her of clout chasing, manipulating the moment, and twisting the narrative just to stay relevant. But one thing was clear, this wasn't over. Not even close. Back in production headquarters, Mona Scott-Young was reportedly fuming. The reunion taping was set to begin in less than 2 hours, but the cast was in shambles. Rashida was still missing. Kirk wasn't responding to producers, and Yandy was hesitant to show up at all. Sierra had to be pulled from glam because she was crying in her dressing room. This ain't what we signed up for, she sobbed. This ain't even reality TV anymore. This is real hurt. Bambi, ever the realist, walked in with a Red Bull and hoop earrings, like it was battle day. Let's just do the damn show, she said. We can cry after. But then came the final twist. Rashida showed up. Showed up. Makeup. No glam. No entourage. Just her, in a black hoodie and jeans. Eyes puffy, expression unreadable. She didn't say a word as she walked through the reunion set and sat in her chair. Kirk, already in place, tried to smile. She didn't look at him once. The reunion opened cold. No music. No applause. Just Mona's voice, eerily calm. Let's get into it. The segment started with Jasmine's video. Rashida watched, stone-faced, as Jasmine detailed private meets, alleged secrets, and Kirk's manipulation tactics. Then, Mona turned to Kirk. Is there truth to what Jasmine said? He stammered. Some of it. But not all. Rashida cut him off. Which part is a lie, Kirk? The part where you told me it was about therapy, or the part where you said you didn't see her anymore? Or maybe the part where you said I was the only one you loved? Kirk looked frozen. Babe, don't babe me, she snapped. You had me out here hugging your side chick, like I was auditioning for Saint of the Year. And all the while, you're just trying to keep her quiet so you don't get exposed. Mona intervened. Rashida, did you know about any of this before today? Rashida shook her head. Not a damn word. I trusted him. Again, like a fool. Then she turned to Yandy, voice shaking. And to you. I owe the biggest apology. I accused you of betrayal when the real snake was sleeping in my bed. Yandy, holding back tears, nodded. I never wanted this for you. I just wanted honesty. The room fell silent. Even Carly Red looked solemn. No one was ready for what Rashida said next. I'm done. With the fake therapy, the public apologies followed by private betrayal. I'm done with Kirk Frost. Kirk's mouth dropped. You can't mean that. I do, she said quietly. I already forgave you once. Maybe twice. Maybe 10 times. But I can't keep sacrificing my self-worth for a man who sees me as a shield, not a wife. Mona leaned forward. So what does that mean, Rashida? Rashida took a deep breath. It means this reunion is my last. I'm stepping away. From the show. From the mess. From him. A collective gasp spread across the room. The studio went eerily quiet. Kirk sat frozen, his face flushed with disbelief. He looked like he had just watched his empire burn in front of him, and maybe he had. Bambi grabbed Rashida's hand. Sierra cried. Even Jasmine, watching from backstage where producers had isolated her, purportedly asked for a moment to herself. And with that, the drama of Jamaica, the podcast shade, the hug heard around the world, and all the secrets it unearthed finally reached its breaking point. But as the cameras zoomed in on Rashida's face, strong, broken, beautiful, fans knew one thing for sure. This wasn't the end of a storyline. It was the beginning of a woman reclaiming her narrative. And just like that, the Frost legacy crumbled, not with a fight, but with a woman finally choosing herself over the circus. Rashida's tearful exit from the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta stage wasn't just the end of a season, it was the end of a cycle. After years of sticking by Kirk through betrayals, secret children, public humiliation, and now hidden recordings and shady therapy trips, she finally said the words fans have begged her to say for over a decade. I'm done. Yandy, once wrongly accused, walked away with her dignity intact and her circle tighter than ever. Jasmine, while attempting to reclaim her narrative, may have exposed more than she intended, becoming both the messenger and the lightning rod of this explosive unraveling. And Kirk. Well, Kirk Frostmitive just fumbled the only woman who ever stood by him when no one else would. The internet is still reeling. Fans are divided. Blogs are flooded. And while Rashida says she's walking away from the show, viewers know better than to count her out. The phoenix always rises, especially in Atlanta. But what do you think? Was Rashida right to forgive Jasmine at first, or was it always a setup? Did Kirk mastermind the entire vacation just to avoid his secrets coming out? And should Jasmine be praised for speaking her truth or cancelled for weaponizing it at the perfect time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're talking betrayal, redemption, and reality TV at its wildest. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more recaps and drama breakdowns, and turn on your notifications so you never miss the next twist in this ATL saga. Because if there's one thing we've learned from Love and Hip Hop, the tea is never truly cold in Atlanta. We'll see you in the next one. Stay messy, stay woke, and stay ready, because the drama is just getting started. It was supposed to be a quiet getaway, just a little sun, sea, and serenity to escape the drama of Atlanta. But baby, when photos surfaced of Jasmine, yes, Jasmine lounging poolside on the same Jamaican resort where Kirk and Rashida were supposedly celebrating their marriage reboot, social media erupted. Fans are shocked, cast members are scrambling, and the streets of Love and Hip Hop ATL will never be the same. How did the woman who once shook Rashida's marriage to its core end up sipping pina coladas on the same vacation as the Frosts? Was it a coincidence? A setup? Or worse, a secret reconciliation behind the scenes? The receipts are messy, the timing is suspicious, and sources are saying this was no accident. And while Rashida is out here posting cryptic, "God got me" captions, Jasmine is unbothered posing in bikinis, tagging the same hotel Kirk just posted from 2 days prior. Fans are calling it the ultimate betrayal, and the comments are wilder than a reunion episode. But that's not even the wildest part. Because back in Atlanta, Yandy Smith-Harris is catching strays again. After a shady segment on Rashida's new podcast left Yandy in tears, she's now questioning their entire friendship. The words Rashida allegedly said, cold-cutting and caught on a leaked audio clip that's already gone viral. Now the question is Rashida secretly two-facing her friends? Is Jasmine plotting a comeback with Kirk? And how did a tropical vacation spiral into a three-way scandal that could tear ATL's strongest women apart? Grab your tea, because this story is explosive. Secrets are surfacing, alliances are crumbling, and one thing is clear: nothing is what it seems this season. You think you've seen drama before? Buckle up, because we're just getting started. It all started with one innocent Instagram story, a flash of turquoise water, a coconut drink held by manicured fingers, and a familiar anklet that fans immediately recognized. Jasmine, the same Jasmine who once brought Love and Hip Hop Atlanta to its knees with the explosive revelation that she had a son with Kirk Frost. The Jasmine that Rashida swore she'd never forgive. But now, in a twist no one could have predicted, Jasmine was seen in what appeared to be the exact same beachfront villa that Kirk had posted from just 24 hours earlier. Within minutes, fan pages began stitching together screenshots, matching up the same lounge chairs, identical towel prints, and even the same poolside bartender. And then came the caption that blew the lid clean off the internet. Some energy, just don't lie. Hashtag Healing in Paradise fans lost it. Is Jasmine on vacation with Kirk? Where is Rashida? One follower commented, tagging every LHHATL gossip blog within reach. And that's when it really got messy because Rashida was there. She had posted a photo of her and Kirk just 3 days prior. All smiles and matching linen fits, holding hands in front of the same cabana, which meant all three of them were there at the same time. By the time the Shade Room reposted it, the comment section had turned into a war zone. "This is foul," one fan wrote. "Did Rashida lose her mind or did Kirk set her up again?" Another asked, "Is this some weird open marriage situation now?" But no one could make sense of it, because Rashida, usually quick to clap back or clear the air, was silent. No reposties, no denials, just a cryptic Instagram story, a selfie with the caption, "When you've healed, nothing surprises you anymore." And that's when people started speculating. Was Rashida involved? Was this some strange therapy exercise? Or was she completely blindsided by yet another Kirk scheme? Back in Atlanta, the cast group chat was going crazy. Bambi messaged the girls directly, "Y'all seeing this Jasmine mess? Tell me this ain't real." Sierra replied with the big eyes emoji. Even Spice chimed in from Tor. Jasmine better have a bulletproof vest if Rashida didn't approve that trip. But one person who wasn't joking was Yandi. Yandi had just wrapped up an interview segment with a local Atlanta podcast, talking about her latest skincare collab, when the news hit her phone. But what shook her even more was not Jasmine, was Rashida, because just hours earlier, a leaked audio clip from that same podcast had started making the rounds. In it, Rashida could be heard allegedly throwing major shade at Yandi, saying, "She always trying to act like she perfect. Like her relationship didn't go through hell too. I'm just saying. Don't throw stones when your own glass house got bullet holes." The betrayal hit Yandi like a punch to the chest, because not only had she considered Rashida a close friend, she had defended her when everyone else dragged her for staying with Kirk. Yandi had stood by her on panels, on episodes, even in real life, telling women to support their sisters instead of judging them, and now, this shade, on a podcast. Behind her back, she called Mendices immediately. "Did you hear this mess?" she snapped. "Jasmine's in Jamaica with Kirk and Rashida. And now people sending me audio of Rashida shading me on her little podcast." Mendices, who had been low-key trying to avoid the drama, sighed. "Wait, Jasmine's where? In Jamaica? With them? And Rashida just went on a mic and said I live in a glass house with bullet holes." He paused. "You sure it's her voice?" Yandi scoffed. "You think I don't know my own friend's voice? Come on." Meanwhile, Jasmine was doing what Jasmine does best, igniting chaos with a smile. She posted another story, this time showing only Shadow's 3 figures walking down the beach. But fans swore they could make out Kirk's gate and Rashida's long braids. The internet exploded again. Was Rashida really walking side by side with Jasmine, the woman who had a baby with her husband behind her back? Within hours, cameras were rolling again. Producers jumped into action, scrambling to set up a scene with Rashida the moment she got back to Atlanta. They needed answers, and they knew the viewers would demand blood. But Rashida wasn't about to be ambushed. The moment she landed, she summoned the production crew to her boutique for a private sit-down. "I already know what this about," she said coolly as the cameras rolled. "And let me just say this, y'all love running with a narrative," before asking the woman herself. The producer asked, "So were you in Jamaica with Jasmine?" Rashida didn't flinch. "Yes, I was." The room went silent. "But let me explain," she continued. "It wasn't no girls' trip. It wasn't no kumbaya reunion. Kirk's therapist invited her. We've been doing these sessions to finally bury the drama. He thought maybe a controlled environment would help us all move forward, for the kids. Did you agree to that?" The producer pressed. "I didn't say yes at first," Rashida admitted. "Hell, I cussed Kirk out. But then I thought about it. How many years am I gonna keep letting this woman live rent-free in my spirit? I wanted closure. So yeah, I went. I sat across from her. And I let her talk." But what Rashida didn't know was that Jasmine had been documenting everything. Voice memos, secret footage, and allegedly private conversations. And just as Rashida was explaining herself on camera, Jasmine uploaded a selfie from the airport with the caption, "Sometimes, Closure means telling your truth, even if it breaks somebody else's. Back at Yandy's place, she wasn't buying any of it. She set this up, Yandy told Bambi over FaceTime. You really think it's a coincidence that Jasmine just happened to be there and then just happens to leak photos and post cryptic captions? Come on. Bambi looked skeptical. But if Kirk invited her for therapy, then Kirk's playing Rashida again, Yandy snapped. And now she wanna talk about my glass house. She better hope hers don't come with shattered floors. But then the plot twisted even more. Because late that night, another clip from Rashida's podcast resurfaced, this time with Rashida allegedly talking about Bambi and her divorce from Scrappy. Some people don't know how to keep a man because they too busy being the man, she said. The audio was clear. The shade was vicious. Bambi was livid. Oh hell no, she muttered, scrolling through the clip. Now I know this chick, not talking slick about me too. Within 24 hours, the Frost family drama had spilled into a full-on ATL meltdown. Jasmine was dropping breadcrumbs. Rashida was spinning explanations. Yandy was boiling with betrayal. And Bambi. She was ready to pull up. The next morning, the group chat was a full battlefield. Bambi had already posted a not-so-subtle Instagram story with the words, "Let's not forget who taught ATL how to keep a man before y'all started podcasting for clicks." No tags, but everyone knew who that was aimed at. Fans flooded the comments with fire emojis, laughing gifs and all caps reactions. Ushi, talking about Rashida. One user commented, Bambi said play with your mic, not with her name. And just like that, the drama snowballed again because Rashida finally snapped. She jumped into the group chat herself, sending a voice note that hit like a wrecking ball. Y'all out here trying to clown me over some edited podcast clips when none of y'all ever been woman enough to face your own situations head on. I sat across from Jasmine to heal, not to entertain. Meanwhile, some of y'all out here crying over baby daddies who can't even spell loyalty. Boom. Yandy immediately responded, girl, don't do that. You let the whole city think you and Jasmine on a couples retreat and now wanna call us out. Bambi, right. And don't talk to me about baby daddies when you had Kirk raw dogging strippers and side chicks for years. Carly Red, sipping tea quietly in the corner of the chat, finally chimed in with, let's all meet and talk this out. Before the blogs eat us alive. Too late, the blogs were already starving. And this drama was a feast. Meanwhile, Jasmine wasn't letting up either. She went live on TikTok claiming she was invited to Jamaica by both Kirk and Rashida. It wasn't no sneak move, she said with a smug smile. She knew I was coming. She sat down with me. She even hugged me before we left. So all this extra noise, it's for y'all, not for me. Within seconds, the footage went viral. Fans dissected every blink, every lip curl, every syllable like it was a federal case. Some were stunned, others weren't shocked at all. Rashida'd been forgiving that man for a decade. One fan posted, what's a hug to a woman who took back a whole baby? The memes were instant. Rashida holding hands with Jasmine while Kirk sat in the background, looking like a Dollar Tree therapist. But what really sent the ATL into flames was Jasmine's next post, a blurry video taken from behind a palm tree, clearly shot in secret. In it, Rashida's voice could be heard saying, honestly, she's the one who broke my trust the most. I expect messy from Kirk, but I didn't expect it from her. She, as in Yandy. Fans exploded. Wait, is Rashida talking about Yandy, not her throwing shade on vacation too? The caption underneath read, say it with your chest next time, sis. Yandy saw it immediately. Her reaction, swift and lethal. She took to Instagram Live, visibly upset but composed, and spoke directly into the camera. I've never betrayed Rashida. Never talked behind her back. So if she got something to say, she can say it to me. Not in a whisper behind some palm tree like we 15. I buried too many friendships over fake loyalty. I ain't doing it again. The comment section exploded. Fans were pouring in support. Yandy's always been solid, one wrote. Rashida looking real fake right now. Some even started a hashtag palm tree confessions. At this point, the producers had no choice. An emergency cast dinner was set up neutral ground, cameras everywhere, contracts signed, and tension sky high. Bambi, Yandy, Rashida, Jasmine, Sierra, and even Carly Red were invited. It was being filmed at a rooftop restaurant in downtown ATL, and the minute Yandy walked in, you could feel the shift in energy. She didn't say a word at first, just sat down. back straight, eyes scanning the table. Rashida came in last. She walked in like she wasn't being dragged online by half the world. Dressed flawless in head-to-toe designer, expression unreadable. The cameras started rolling. So let's get into it. Mona's voice rang out off camera. Y'all clearly have some things to say. Yandi went first. Let's start with the podcast. Rashida, you said some things that sounded real familiar. Want to clear that up? Rashida took a deep breath. I'll say this. I was talking about people who act like their lives are perfect when nobody's life is. I didn't say your name, but you meant my name, Yandi fired back. I've always supported you. I didn't judge you for staying with Kirk. I never brought up Jasmine. But now you're out here in Jamaica, playing peacekeeper with the woman who literally had a child with your man, and I'm the one you feel betrayed by. Rashida narrowed her eyes. You don't know what I've been through with Kirk. You think social media knows my marriage. You think you know it better than me. I know what I saw, Yandi said, voice rising. And I know that hug didn't look like closure. It looked like y'all been real cozy behind the scenes. At that moment, Bambi interjected. And since we airing it out, let's talk about that slick comment on your podcast about women not knowing how to keep a man. Rashida looked annoyed. I wasn't talking about you, Bambi. Well, guess what? Bambi shot back. The shoe fit real tight. You always been the queen of silence until it's time to go viral, and then you want to act confused when people come for you. Jasmine, sipping her cocktail calmly, finally spoke. Y'all can fight all y'all want, but I showed up to that trip on their invitation. Not mine. And if we're being honest, the only reason Rashida hugged me was because her therapist told her she needed to let it go to move on. Yandi turned to Jasmine. Sweetheart, no offense, but your receipts come with more edits than a Carly Red relationship timeline. Let the grown women talk. Carly nearly choked on her water. Why am I getting dragged out of nowhere? Chaos erupted, voices overlapping, Bambi yelling, Rashida defending, Jasmine smirking, even the waiter backed away mid-order. Finally, Sierra banged her wine glass with a spoon. Enough. This is too much. Can we please just take a breath? Silence. Yandi leaned in, voice calm but piercing. You know what hurts the most, Rashida, not the podcast, not the hug. It's knowing that when it was me, under fire, I had your back, but now, with all this Jasmine mess, you couldn't even pick up the phone. Rashida's eyes welled. I didn't know what to say. Then say that, Yandi whispered. Don't play both sides and call it growth. For a moment, there was quiet. Heavy, loaded, painful, quiet. And just when it seemed like things might settle, Jasmine pulled one last card. She placed her phone on the table, tapped a video file, and slid it toward the group. Here, since y'all think I'm lying. Everyone gathered around. The screen played a video clip, grainy, secretly recorded, but clear enough. Rashida, at the resort, sitting next to Jasmine, saying, I'm not saying we'll be friends, but if we can coexist, I'll take that. You've changed. I see it. Bambi rolled her eyes. So you did invite her back in. You just didn't want us to know. Rashida looked cornered, breathing heavy. I said that in a moment. I was trying to do what the therapist said. I didn't think it would be blasted online. Yandi stood up, collecting her purse. You didn't think. That's the whole problem. And with that, she walked away. Again, Yandi's heels clicked against the pavement as she stormed out of the rooftop restaurant. Her mic pack still hot and recording. The camera crew followed her for a few feet, but she waved them off. She didn't need a dramatic exit. Her silence screamed louder than any confessional. Inside, the table was still vibrating with tension. Rashida hadn't moved. Her lip trembled slightly, but she held it in. She wasn't about to cry in front of these cameras again. Not after everything she had already let slide this season. Bambi sat back, arms crossed, clearly feeling vindicated. Sierra blinked back her own frustration. Carly just sipped her wine, watching it all unfold like the chaotic ant she was. And Jasmine looked like she was 2 seconds away from posting another story, captioned I said what I said. The producers shut down filming for the night, but the story was far from over. As the cast dispersed, the streets of Atlanta lit up, with commentary. The clip of Jasmine sliding her phone across the table was already being replayed on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Remixed with sound effects and captions like Rashida, blink twice if you're trapped. But what stunned fans even more was what came next. Yandi, who had sworn she was done, went live just 2 hours after the dinner raw. No makeup, bonnet on, and heart wide open. I wasn't even gonna say nothing, she began, holding back tears. But when someone you considered your sister blindsides you on camera, in front of the whole world, and hugs the very woman who helped destroy her home, you start questioning everything. I defended Rashida when it wasn't popular. I stood next to her when she was breaking down. I didn't expect perfection, I just expected loyalty. The live had over 65k viewers within 10 minutes. People flooded the chat with support. Yandi always been 100. Rashida fumbled a real one. We riding with Yandi, but in the comment section, a new debate brewed. Some fans started shifting the blame to Jasmine, questioning her motives. Why she's still filming secret videos like we in 2017? One fan asked. Another added, Jasmine's not trying to heal, she's trying to trend. And then, the unexpected happened. Jasmine's own baby daddy, Logan, popped up in the mix. He posted a cryptic tweet. That girl don't know peace unless she's causing war. Fans immediately interpreted it as a jab at Jasmine. Within an hour, he clarified on IG stories. I tried to stay out of this, but watching Jasmine spin this narrative like she's some growth queen, nah. She filmed everything in Jamaica without telling anyone. Even me. She's not healed. She's plotting. The comment section imploded. Jasmine now had multiple figures turning on her, and her healing in paradise narrative was falling apart. Meanwhile, Rashida was finally forced to confront the backlash head-on. In an emotional sit-down confessional filmed days later, she opened up like never before. Look, she said, voice shaking, I've done a lot of growing. A lot of forgiving. And yeah, inviting Jasmine to Jamaica. Maybe that was too soon. Maybe it was stupid, but when Kirk suggested it, I thought maybe, just maybe, it would put an end to the awkward tension. Every time I drop Kai off, every time we have family stuff, she's there. I was tired of the elephant in the room. The producer asked gently, but did you expect the footage to leak? No, Rashida said flatly. That part hurt, and the part with Yandi, that crushed me, because no matter what, I never meant for her to feel betrayed. But at some point, trying to please everyone leaves you empty. Still, not everyone was buying it. Bambi, who had stayed mostly quiet since the dinner, came through with another mic drop moment on Instagram Live. Let's be real, she said, curling her hair with one hand and sipping Red Bull with the other. You can't play therapist, peacemaker, and podcast queen all at once. You picked Jasmine over Yandi, whether you meant to or not. And now you mad the world saw it before you did. As the fandom divided into Team Yandi and Team Rashida, the cast was summoned again for a final mediation taping, a last attempt to bring everyone together before the reunion. This time, it was held at a secluded private home in the suburbs. No paparazzi, no extras, just core cast and crew. Yandi was hesitant to attend, but after a heartfelt phone call from Sierra, she agreed. I'm not going for her, Yandi told Mendices, packing a light jacket. I'm going to clear the air for me. Because I'm not gonna walk into that reunion with half-truths hanging over my head. When she arrived, Rashida was already there, seated in the living room, no glam squad, no jewelry, just her and a mug of chamomile tea. Jasmine wasn't invited. This was about the friendship, not the fire starter. The room was tense. Yandi sat across from Rashida, knees crossed, eyes steady. You hurt me, she said, without preamble. I know, Rashida whispered. And I'm sorry. Yandi waited. No excuses. No justifications. Just silence. Then Rashida spoke. Again, I didn't mean to choose her over you, but I did. And I see that now. I was so focused on being the bigger person that I didn't realize I was stepping on the people who held me up. Yandi's eyes welled with tears. I never wanted you to pick sides. I just wanted you to see me. The real me. Not the version people gossip about. Not the headlines. Just me. Your friend. Rashida nodded. You still are. If you'll let me fix this. And for the first time since the chaos began, the walls cracked. Yandi reached over and took her hand. No words, just energy. Tired, bruised, but honest. Outside, Sierra and Bambi watched through the window, both exhaling like they'd been holding their breath for days. Maybe there's hope for us after all, Sierra whispered. Maybe, Bambi replied. But Jasmine, she gonna need a prayer circle and a lawsuit to fix what she broke. The cameras captured it all, real emotion, real damage, real attempts at healing. And while nothing was fully resolved, the line between reality and redemption had started to blur, but just when peace began to take root. Another clip leaked online. This time, it wasn't Jasmine, it was Kirk. And he was caught saying something that would blow everything up again. It hit the blogs at exactly 7:48 a.m. Just as the cast began preparing for their official reunion taping, a low-quality voice memo, crackling at the edges. But unmistakably Kirk Frost's voice, chuckling in the background as he said the words that would send season 13 of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta into absolute chaos. Man, Rashida really think this was all for therapy? Please. I just needed Jasmine to stop threatening to go public with the old stuff. The words echoed across the internet like a digital explosion. The old stuff, what did that mean? Was there more than the child? More than the strip club rumors? Was Jasmine holding something even darker over Kirk's head, and had he manipulated Rashida's healing journey just to do damage control? Fans went into a frenzy. Instagram lives, YouTube breakdowns, Twitter threads. Everyone had a theory, and none of them were pretty. But it wasn't the fans who were most devastated, was Rashida. Just one day after trying to mend fences with Yanti, just hours after letting her guard down on camera and embracing vulnerability for the first time in weeks, her entire world was yanked from under her again. Producers tried to reach her, her phone went straight to voicemail. At her boutique, employees were instructed to reschedule appointments. The usually composed, brand-polished Rasheeda Frost had disappeared. Word on the street was, she was holed up at her mama's house, not taking calls from anyone, not even Kirk. Meanwhile, Jasmine wasn't staying silent. She posted a 12-minute video to her YouTube channel, titled The Truth About Me and Kirk. What you didn't see. Dressed in all black, tearfully composed, she spilled everything. I stayed silent for years, she began. But when a man uses you, erases you, then tries to villainize you on national television, nah, that ends today. She claimed Kirk had promised her a future even after his son was born. She alleged he'd continued to visit her privately, off camera, even after reconciling with Rashida. And worst of all, she dropped a bomb, that Kirk pressured her to stay quiet about certain business dealings he didn't want the world to know about. I recorded that conversation because I was scared, Jasmine admitted, voice shaking. Scared he'd spin it all again. Scared I'd be painted like the side chick forever. But I was young. I believed him. And now, I just want peace. The comments were divided. Some fans praised her for finally speaking out. Others accused her of clout chasing, manipulating the moment. The internet is an absolute meltdown, and trust me, you are not ready for what just dropped. In a jaw-dropping twist that no one saw coming, Jasmine has just blown the lid off a secret so explosive it's threatening to rip the Frost family apart once and for all. Yes, according to Jasmine herself, Kirk Frost has a second baby that Rashida allegedly knew nothing about until now. Fans are losing their minds, social media is on fire, and the streets of Atlanta are buzzing like never before. This isn't just another love and hip-hop scandal. This is the kind of revelation that leaves group chats in chaos, timelines flooded with crying emojis, and even the cast themselves scrambling for answers. Word is, Jasmine didn't just hint at the secret, she came with receipts, screenshots, and a timeline that paints Kirk into a corner so tight, not even his signature smooth talking could get him out. Eyewitnesses claim Rashida's reaction was nothing short of volcanic. One minute she was in tears. The next she was storming out of the room, phone in hand, making calls that could change everything. And here's the kicker. The identity of the second baby's mother. Yeah, that's the bombshell Jasmine is dangling like a ticking time bomb, making everyone wait, watch, and wonder. Fans are calling it the most shocking reveal in franchise history, but if you think that's dramatic, wait until you hear who else knew about this and stayed silent, because once this truth is out, there's no putting it back in the vault. It all started on what was supposed to be a calm, quiet evening, or at least as calm as things ever get when you're talking about the Frost family. Cameras had been rolling for hours on a regular shoot day, the usual mix of casual banter, background music, and the kind of low-level shade that's practically part of the soundtrack of Love and Hip Hop. But then Jasmine walked in. Not the cautious, tentative Jasmine fans remembered from her first run-in with the Frost drama, but a confident, deliberate woman who clearly had a mission. She didn't even bother with hellos or fake smiles. She headed straight toward Kirk, ignoring the awkward tension that immediately filled the air. People in the room claim they could feel the shift, like the temperature dropped 10 degrees. Kirk's eyes narrowed instantly. That oh no, what now? Look he gets when he knows something bad is about to go down. Rashida, seated a few feet away, glanced between them, already sensing trouble. But Jasmine wasn't here for small talk. You ready to be honest for once? She asked, her voice calm but cutting. The crew froze, the kind of silence that only comes when everyone knows a moment is about to explode. Kirk started with his usual dismissive chuckle, trying to play it off. What are you talking about, Jasmine? He said, but there was a flicker in his expression, a hesitation, a quick flash of guilt that didn't go unnoticed. Rashida straightened up, her eyes locking onto Jasmine, her mind already racing. And that's when Jasmine said it. I know about the other baby. Not the baby everyone already knew about from years back. Not the storyline that had been dragged out, dissected, and eventually pushed to the background. This was something entirely new. Rashida blinked like she couldn't process the words, but Jasmine didn't pause to let it sink in. She laid it out how she'd gotten a call from someone in her past, a woman she didn't even realize had her number, how that woman claimed she'd been quietly raising a child for over a year now. A child she swore was Kirk's. And how Jasmine, skeptical at first, had done her homework. She had screenshots of conversations. She had pictures that made her blood run cold. She even had a photo of the baby, and the resemblance was impossible to ignore. Kirk immediately went on the defensive. Man, this is ridiculous, he said, his tone a mix of forced laughter and irritation. You're just trying to start something for TV. But the more he talked, the more his voice wavered, and the more Rashida's face shifted from confusion to pure fury. Are you telling me you've been hiding another child from me? She demanded, her voice cracking just slightly, not from weakness, but from the weight of disbelief. Kirk's silence in that moment was louder than anything he could have said. Jasmine wasn't done. Don't act like you didn't know, she continued, stepping closer. She told me you've been sending her money. Quietly, through someone else's account so it wouldn't trace back to you. And before you deny it, I've got the receipts. She reached into her bag, pulling out printed bank statements, the kind of thing you couldn't just fake with a quick Photoshop job. People on set leaned in to catch a glimpse, their eyes widening as they saw names, dates, and amounts. Rashida stood up so fast her chair scraped against the floor. You've been sending money to another woman for your child and didn't tell me. She shouted, her voice echoing in the room. Do you know what kind of fool you've made me look like? Kirk tried to step toward her, hands out in that placating gesture he always uses. But she wasn't having it. Don't touch me, she snapped. Jasmine's eyes didn't leave Kirk, like she was waiting for him to admit it. You think you can keep doing this lying, sneaking around, and nobody's ever going to find out. The truth always comes out, Kirk. Always. The crew had stopped filming anything else by now. All cameras were trained on this confrontation, because it was clear they were capturing something that would blow up far beyond the show. Rashida's breathing was heavy, her eyes glassy but fierce. She turned to Jasmine. Who is she? Who's the mother? Jasmine hesitated for the first time all night, and that hesitation made the tension spike even higher. You know her, Jasmine finally said. The room collectively gasped. Rashida's face shifted from shock to confusion to something sharper, suspicion mixed with dread. Don't play with me, Jasmine, she warned. Tell me. But Jasmine only gave a small, knowing smile. Not yet, she said, almost taunting. But trust me, you'll find out sooner than you think. That was the moment Rashida completely lost it. You came in here just to drop a bomb and walk away, she shouted. Jasmine shrugged. I came here to tell the truth. What you do with it is up to you. With that, she turned and started to walk out, the entire set buzzing with whispers. Kirk followed her, muttering under his breath. But Rashida stayed rooted in place, her mind spinning. She knew Jasmine wasn't lying, not about this. And worse, she knew whatever name was coming next was going to cut deep. She just didn't know how deep yet. Kirk caught up with Jasmine just outside the set doors, grabbing her arm in a way that was more desperate than aggressive. Why are you doing this now? He hissed, glancing around to make sure no one was close enough to hear, but he underestimated how many ears were straining from just inside the doorway. Jasmine yanked her arm free, her eyes flashing. Because I'm done being quiet, Kirk. I sat back and watched you play house while another woman's raising your baby in the shadows. You think I was gonna let her be invisible forever? Her words dripped with contempt. But there was something else there too, a strange mix of satisfaction and frustration. Like she was both relieved to be saying it and still furious she even had to. Inside, Rashida was pacing like a caged Animal, muttering under her breath, while the crew tried and failed to get her to sit down. He's got me out here looking like a fool again, she said to no one in particular, though her voice carried. After everything we went through, after I took him back, after I put my pride in my back pocket. This is what I get. She stopped suddenly and turned toward Sierra, who had been quietly watching the chaos unfold. Did you know about this? She demanded. Sierra's eyes widened, hands up. Girl, no. You know, if I had even heard something, I would have come straight to you. This is what— The words barely left Sierra's mouth before Carly Red appeared out of nowhere, because of course Carly would smell drama from across town and show up ready. Wait, Carly said, stepping into the circle. I just heard somebody say second baby. Kirk got another kid. The crew groaned because if Carly was here, the gossip train was officially at full steam. Apparently, Sierra said, throwing her hands up. Jasmine just dropped it on us like a bomb. Carly's mouth fell open. Oh, this is about to get messy. Out in the parking lot, Kirk was trying his usual damage control tactics. Look, Jasmine, even if it's true, this isn't the way to do it. You're just gonna hurt everybody. Jasmine laughed, a sharp, humorless sound. Oh, now you care about hurting people. Where was that concern when you were sneaking around, playing daddy behind closed doors? Kirk ran a hand over his face, clearly struggling. You don't understand. No, Jasmine cut in. I understand perfectly. You've been lying again, and this time, it's not just on me to keep your secret. She deserves to know. The whole world deserves to know what kind of man you are. She walked off before he could answer, leaving him standing there looking like someone had just yanked the rug out from under him. Back inside, Rashida was already in full investigator mode. Somebody get me my phone, she said, and when she got it, she started scrolling through her contacts with a purpose. I'm not gonna sit around waiting for Jasmine to reveal anything. I'll find out myself. She began firing off messages to old friends, to people in the industry, to anyone who might have a clue. The cast was watching her like it was a live-action soap opera. Rashida, Sierra said carefully, you know, if she's saying you know the woman, that could mean I don't care what it means. Rashida cut in. I'm about to find out, and when I do, Kirk better hope he's already halfway to another country. Her phone dinged almost immediately, a reply from someone she hadn't spoken to in years. Her eyes scanned the message, and her entire face changed. It wasn't shock this time. It was something far colder. She stood, holding the phone like it was proof of a crime. If this is true, she said slowly, then Jasmine isn't just trying to hurt me. She's trying to destroy me. Everyone leaned in. But before she could say more, the door opened and Kirk walked back in, trying to act like he'd just stepped out for air. Rashida didn't even give him a second to settle. Who is she? She demanded, stepping forward. You gonna tell me now, or do I have to show you what I already know? The tension was thick enough to choke on. Kirk's eyes flickered to her, to the phone in her hand, to the crew who were all silently praying he'd slip up. This isn't the place, he said finally. Oh, it's exactly the place, Rashida shot back. Because you embarrassed me in public, you're gonna explain yourself in public. The room was dead silent, everyone waiting for the moment he'd break. And just when it seemed like he might, when his mouth opened and his shoulders dropped, Carly's phone rang. She glanced at the screen and her jaw dropped. Y'all, she said slowly, you might want to hear this, it's her. And with that, she put the call on speaker. The room fell completely silent as Carly's phone blared through the speakers. On the other end was a woman with a voice that was calm but carried a definite edge of urgency. This is Tamara, she said, and yes, I'm the mother. The words hit everyone like a freight train. Jasmine's earlier hints were finally confirmed in the most dramatic way possible. Tamara continued, her voice steady despite the chaos erupting behind her. I've kept this quiet for over a year because I didn't want to hurt anyone. But Kirk's been sending money, visiting when no one's looking, and expecting me to stay silent. I'm done. Rashida's eyes narrowed, and the look she shot Kirk was pure fire. Why didn't you tell me? She demanded, voice shaking. Kirk looked down, unable to meet her gaze. I was scared, he admitted quietly. I didn't know how you'd react. I thought I could handle it on my own. Jasmine stepped forward, crossing her arms. You thought you could hide a whole child and keep everyone fooled. That's not just a mistake, Kirk. That's betrayal. The tension thickened as Tamara's voice softened. I'm not here to fight or cause drama. I just want the truth out so we can figure out what's next. Rashida stared at her phone, the storm of emotions evident on her face: anger, hurt, confusion, but also a flicker of something else: determination. If this is true, then the Frost family is about to be tested in ways none of us expected. Suddenly, the crew caught movement near the set entrance. Sierra was dragging someone inside, a woman with tears streaming down her face. "That's Tamara," Sierra explained breathlessly. "She flew in this morning after hearing Jasmine's call." The room was instantly flooded with whispers. Tamara stood there, vulnerable but resolute, and everyone knew this was only the beginning. "I just want Kirk to be honest," she said softly. "For me, for the baby, for Rashida, for all of us." Kirk took a shaky step toward her, reaching out his hand. "I'm sorry," he said simply. "I want to make this right." Rashida's gaze was icy. "Sorry doesn't fix secrets or silence. Not anymore." The Frost family was left divided, with alliances forming and breaking in real time. The fallout was only just starting, and fans everywhere were glued to their screens, waiting to see how this explosive chapter would end, or if it even could. Rashida's heart pounded like a drum, her mind racing with every word that Tamara had just spoken. The woman standing before them wasn't just some random figure. She was the living proof of Kirk's secret life, the missing piece of a puzzle Rashida thought she had figured out long ago. The shockwaves from the reveal rippled through the room. But instead of collapsing under the weight of betrayal, Rashida's eyes hardened with a fierce resolve. "You expect me to accept this?" she asked, her voice low but deadly serious. "How do you think this looks? Me, standing here while you've been sneaking around behind my back, hiding a whole child, hiding the truth like I was some fool?" Kirk's jaw clenched, but it was Jasmine who cut in, her tone sharper than ever. "Rashida, you've been played. And the sad part is, he's been doing this for longer than you think." The room gasped collectively. "What do you mean?" Rashida demanded, stepping closer. Jasmine took a breath and began laying it out: late-night calls, whispered meetings, and shady transfers. "Kirk's been juggling two lives, and you were the last to know." The betrayal was palpable, the kind that cuts deeper than any knife. Yet amidst the tears and accusations, something unexpected happened, a conversation that no one expected but everyone needed. Tamara, with tears shining in her eyes, turned to Rashida and said, "I never wanted to be the other woman. I never wanted to come between you and Kirk. I just wanted my child to have a father." Rashida's expression softened for just a moment before the storm returned. "And what? You thought silence was the answer? Pretending none of this was happening? I deserve more than secrets and lies." The tension between the two women was thick, yet the undercurrent of shared pain was undeniable. Fans watching this were on the edge of their seats, witnessing a real-life drama that blurred the lines between enemies and victims. Meanwhile, Kirk was left standing in the eye of the storm, a man exposed, cornered, and stripped of the smooth charm that once protected him. "I never wanted to hurt anyone," he said, voice cracking. "I was scared. I wanted to protect my family. But the damage was done." The Frost family was fractured, trust shattered, and the road ahead uncertain. As the cameras kept rolling, the story was far from over, and with every passing moment, new secrets threatened to surface, promising even more heartbreak and drama in the days to come. The aftermath of Tamara's revelation sent shockwaves through the Frost family and their closest circle, turning what was once a tightly knit group into a battlefield of accusations, tears, and simmering resentment. Rashida, still reeling from the betrayal, refused to let the silence continue. She immediately took charge, demanding transparency and answers, not just from Kirk, but from everyone who might have known and stayed silent. The room was charged with raw emotion, as if years of pent-up frustrations had finally exploded in a single, uncontrollable moment. Friends and family tried to mediate, but tensions ran too high. Sierra, usually the peacemaker, found herself caught in the middle, trying desperately to calm both sides. "We all need to breathe," she urged. "This isn't just about how we move forward." But Rashida's mind was made up. "I need time," she said firmly, "time to process, time to decide if this family can survive this." Meanwhile, Kirk was struggling to keep his composure. The once confident man who had managed to charm his way through countless controversies was now visibly shaken. He reached out to Jasmine, attempting a truce, but she was resolute. "I told you, Kirk, the truth always finds its way out. You can't keep running." The public reaction was immediate and fierce. Social media exploded with hashtags like #FrostFamilyDrama and #KirkSecondBaby. With fans divided between disbelief, support, and outright condemnation. Some rallied behind Rashida, praising her strength and resilience, while others sympathized with Tamara, calling for Kirk to take responsibility. The story wasn't just entertainment, it was a reflection of real pain and complicated relationships, laid bare for all to see. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more intense, a surprise visitor arrived at Rashida's doorstep, someone from Kirk's past with secrets of their own, ready to shake the Frost family foundation even further. The stage was set for even more explosive revelations, making it clear that this was only the beginning of a long, dramatic saga that would captivate fans for weeks, maybe even months. The unexpected arrival at Rashida's doorstep sent shockwaves through everyone who thought they had seen the worst of the Frost family drama. This new figure, someone from Kirk's past who had been silent for years, carried with them secrets that could either mend the broken pieces or shatter the family beyond repair. As Rashida opened the door, the tension was palpable. The visitor's eyes held a mixture of regret and determination. "I'm here to tell the whole truth," they said simply. Rashida didn't hesitate. Then start talking. What followed was a cascade of revelations, late-night meetings, hidden alliances, and years of deception that went far beyond a single second baby. The visitor claimed to have witnessed things that even Kirk hadn't confessed, shedding light on a web of lies and cover-ups that implicated not just Kirk, but others close to the family. The atmosphere grew electric as every new detail added fuel to the fire. Rashida's world was unraveling, but there was a new fire in her eyes, one of fierce resolve and a refusal to be a victim any longer. Meanwhile, Jasmine watched from the sidelines, her role shifting from instigator to reluctant ally. Recognizing that the truth was bigger than any one person's pain, the Frost family was left at a crossroads, with alliances tested and loyalties questioned. Fans were glued to their screens, hungry for every update, every whispered secret, every explosive confrontation. This wasn't just reality TV drama anymore. It was a saga that felt painfully real, filled with heartbreak, betrayal, and the raw, unfiltered emotions of people forced to face their darkest truths. And as the story continued to unfold, one thing was clear: no one in the Frost family would ever be the same again. With the new revelations hitting like a tidal wave, the Frost family found themselves spiraling deeper into chaos. Rashida, once the steady rock in the storm, now seemed more like a woman on the edge, torn between protecting her children, confronting Kirk, and grappling with her own shattered trust. The visitor's testimony opened a floodgate of memories and suspicions, forcing everyone to re-examine years of family moments that now seemed like carefully constructed facades. Meanwhile, Kirk's defenses were crumbling. His usual smooth talk turned to stammering apologies and vague promises of change. But the damage was already done. Fans were not buying the act anymore. Social media exploded with reaction videos, heated debates, and heartfelt support for Rashida and the mystery woman, Tamara. Even longtime friends and industry insiders began weighing in, with some expressing disbelief, others disappointment, and many outright calling for accountability. In a private moment captured off camera, Rashida confronted Kirk in a raw, emotional exchange that left no topic untouched. "How many lies will it take before you lose us all?" she demanded, tears streaming down her face. "I gave you everything, my trust, my love, and you threw it away." Kirk, broken and remorseful, could only reply, "I'm sorry, I never meant for it to go this far." But apologies felt empty in the face of the mounting evidence and broken hearts. As the dust began to settle, whispers started circulating about potential legal battles over custody and financial support, adding a whole new layer of tension to the saga. The Frost family was left at a crossroads. Would they crumble under the weight of betrayal, or could they find a way to rebuild, stronger but forever changed? For fans, one thing was certain: this story was far from over, and every episode promised to deliver more drama, heartbreak, and shocking twists that no one could afford to miss. The fallout from that private confrontation rippled far beyond the walls of the Frost household. Rumors began to swirl about Kirk's next moves. Would he fight for custody of the second child? Would Rashida stand her ground and demand full transparency and accountability? Sources close to the family leaked snippets of heated text exchanges between Kirk and Tamara, fueling speculation that there might be a financial settlement in the works, or, worse, more secrets waiting to be uncovered. Meanwhile, Jasmine, riding the wave of her explosive revelation, became both a hero and a villain in the eyes of fans. Some applauded her courage in exposing the truth, while others accused her of stirring the pot for personal gain or revenge. Social media was ablaze with debates and theories. Is this the end of Kirk and Rashida's marriage? One viral tweet asked. How long until more skeletons come out of the closet? Pondered another. The family itself was splintered, with relatives picking sides and friends walking a tightrope, afraid to get caught in the crossfire. Even producers of the show were rumored to be scrambling behind the scenes, trying to manage the narrative, while capitalizing on the skyrocketing ratings. But amidst the chaos, one voice stood out, Rashida's, in a rare public statement. She addressed the situation with raw honesty and a hint of resilience. This is my family, my life, and my truth, she said. No matter what happens, I will always fight for what's right and protect those I love. As the dust settled, viewers were left with burning questions. Can the Frost family survive this devastating blow? Will Kirk ever regain trust? And who else might be hiding secrets in the shadows? The drama continues, and one thing is crystal clear: no one watching will ever forget this jaw-dropping chapter in love and hip-hop history. With Rashida's powerful statement reverberating across social media, the Frost saga took yet another unexpected turn. Sources close to Kirk revealed he had sought private counseling, desperately trying to salvage what was left of his crumbling relationships. Yet the pressure wasn't just emotional. Rumors of legal battles over custody and child support began to circulate, threatening to drag the family's dirty laundry even further into the spotlight. Fans were riveted, dissecting every interview, every Instagram post, every cryptic tweet for clues about the next bombshell. Meanwhile, Tamara, the mysterious second baby's mother, kept a low profile, but insiders hinted she was preparing to step into the public eye, ready to fight for her child's rights and claim a place in the Frost family story. Meanwhile, Jasmine's role morphed from whistleblower to reluctant mediator, caught between exposing the truth and trying to keep the family from tearing itself apart. The Frost household was a war zone of emotions: anger, heartbreak, betrayal, but also moments of fragile hope as family members tried to navigate the fallout. With alliances shifting and secrets threatening to surface at any moment, the stage was set for even more explosive drama in the episodes to come. For viewers, the question wasn't just who did what, it was whether the Frost family could ever truly heal, or if this shocking revelation would be the final fracture in a saga marked by heartbreak and deception. As cameras continue to roll, one thing is clear: in the world of reality TV, the Frost family drama is far from over. The tension between Rashida and Kirk reached a boiling point in the days following Tamara's public arrival. Private messages leaked online showed Kirk begging Rashida for forgiveness, promising to make things right for their family. Yet, every plea seemed to fall on deaf ears as Rashida focused on healing herself and her children. The public watched with bated breath as the couple faced one of their toughest trials yet, a test of trust that seemed nearly impossible to pass. Meanwhile, Jasmine's role grew more complicated. While many admired her bravery in exposing the secret, whispers of jealousy and revenge began swirling among fans and insiders alike. Was Jasmine truly seeking justice, or was this a calculated move to reclaim her spotlight? The Frost family's inner circle fractured, with some siding with Rashida's demand for honesty, and others sympathizing with Kirk's struggle to reconcile his mistakes. Social media erupted with fan theories, heated debates, and heartfelt support messages for everyone involved. But the biggest question remained: could the Frost family weather this storm and come out stronger? Or was this the beginning of the end for one of reality TV's most watched couples? The drama was far from over, and the world was watching every move. The days following the explosive revelations about Kirk's secret second baby were some of the most tumultuous in Frost family history. And the media frenzy showed no signs of slowing down. Rashida, once seen as the poised and composed matriarch, was now publicly grappling with heartbreak and betrayal. Private sources revealed that she was fiercely protective of her children and determined not to let the scandal define her family's future, but that resolve came with an emotional cost. Late-night texts leaked online showed Rashida venting to close friends, her messages raw with pain and disbelief. "How could he do this to us?" One text read, "I gave him everything, and he's been living a double life." Fans flooded social media with messages of support. rallying behind Rashida's strength even as others debated the complexities of Kirk's actions and the impact on everyone involved. Meanwhile, Kirk found himself in a precarious position, caught between public backlash and private remorse. His usual charm and confidence were replaced by an uneasy silence in interviews and behind-the-scenes footage. In a rare candid moment captured off camera, Kirk admitted to a close friend, "I messed up bad. I never meant to hurt Rashida or the kids, but I didn't know how to handle everything." Sources say he sought counseling to try to understand his mistakes and rebuild trust, but the path ahead was anything but clear. The emotional distance between him and Rashida was palpable during recent filming, with scenes showing strained conversations and heavy silences, a far cry from the family unity viewers had come to expect. Jasmine, the catalyst for the entire scandal, found her public image shifting rapidly. Initially hailed as a whistleblower bringing the truth to light, whispers began circulating about her motivations. Was her revelation an act of courage, or a calculated move to reclaim relevance in the show's spotlight? Fellow cast members were divided, with some praising her honesty and others accusing her of stirring the pot for personal gain. In private conversations leaked to the press, Jasmine insisted, "I did what I had to do. The truth needed to come out, no matter the cost." Yet the growing controversy added new layers of complexity to her role in the unfolding drama. Tamara, the mother of Kirk's second child, remained largely out of the spotlight, choosing to focus on her child's well-being amid the chaos. However, insiders revealed she was quietly building a legal team to secure her and her child's rights. Her emergence has challenged the Frost family to confront the realities of their situation beyond the cameras. The very real responsibilities and consequences that come with secrets finally exposed. Friends close to Tamara describe her as determined yet measured, intent on finding a peaceful resolution but prepared to fight if necessary. As the Frost family struggled to navigate this unprecedented crisis, tensions within their inner circle rose. Old friendships were tested as loyalties fractured. Sierra, known for her level-headedness, tried to mediate between parties, but found herself caught in the crossfire of conflicting emotions and alliances. Carly Red, ever the wild card, leveraged the drama to fuel her own brand, dropping teasers on social media and fueling speculation that only added fuel to the fire. The cast's behind-the-scenes interactions became as much a source of intrigue as the unfolding family drama itself. Fans and critics alike watched as the Frost family's once seemingly unbreakable facade showed cracks that refused to be patched. The social media landscape became a battleground of opinions, with hashtags like #FrostFamilyDivide and #TruthAndTrust trending for weeks. Some viewers sympathized with Rasheeda's heartbreak, others empathized with Kirk's struggle to own up to his mistakes, and many felt for Tamara's difficult position as a mother fighting for recognition and respect. With cameras still rolling, it was clear that the Frost family's story was far from reaching a resolution. The coming episodes promised even more emotional confrontations, unexpected alliances, and revelations that would continue to captivate audiences. Questions lingered. Could Rashida find it in her heart to forgive? Would Kirk be able to rebuild trust with his family and fans? And how would the presence of a second child forever change the dynamics within the Frost household? As viewers tuned in, one thing was undeniable. The Frost family drama had entered a new, uncharted chapter, one that tested the limits of loyalty, love, and the very definition of family itself. And with every tear, every shout, and every heartfelt plea broadcast to the world, audiences were reminded why reality TV remains the ultimate window into the messy, complicated truths that lie just beneath the surface of even the most glamorous lives. The Frost family drama has reached a whole new level of intensity, and honestly, who could have seen this coming? Kirk's secret second baby, Rashida's heartbreak, Jasmine's explosive revelation, it's a roller coaster of emotions, betrayals, and raw truths that keeps us all hooked. But the question still hangs heavy in the air. What happens next? Will the Frost family find a way to heal, or is this the beginning of the end for one of reality TV's most talked about couples? We want to hear from you. What's your take on Kirk's secret being exposed? Do you think Rashida will forgive, or is trust broken beyond repair? And what role do you think Jasmine really played in all of this? Is she a hero or a villain? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments below because your voice matters in this unfolding saga. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're hooked on this drama and subscribe so you never miss the next jaw-dropping update. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned and keep those notifications on.